Welcome back. Now we'll take your questions. If you have a question yourself, send it to us at QuranSpeaks.com. So Dr. Shabir, we have a question today from Indonesia. Someone's asking, many Muslims told me that democracy and Islam can't be together. Is democracy really fit to be applied in Muslim life?
Yes, yes. The misunderstanding comes about because people think of democracy as meaning that people are going to decide, and then it's left up to the decision of people whether to apply the law of God or to, introduce things which are considered to be haram or illegitimate in the religion, like gambling or drinking alcohol or something like this. So the question for the Muslim is, how can we allow people to just decide to do whatever they want? That wouldn't be Islam. It'll be the desires of people. But when we speak about things being done within an Islamic context, then we're talking about, let's say there is a majority Muslim population. Now, if the Muslim clerics have done their job, they have educated the people, they are good practitioners of the faith, they are interpreting the faith in a way that attracts people, and people feel, yeah, this is what I want to live by, this is my religion, then naturally people are going to decide their affairs according to the religion of God. Somebody wrote a book entitled The Mind the Quran Builds. The idea is that if Muslims are reading the Quran over and over, they're understanding it, they're pondering over its meanings, then their minds will be Muslim minds. And it's unrealistic to think that these Muslim minds are going to somehow call for the legalization of alcohol or gambling, things which are known to be haram or impermissible in the Islamic faith. So when we speak about the democracy then in the Islamic context, this is what we mean, that Muslim minds are going to, by mutual consultation, decide to implement good things and to reduce and remove evil things.
So what if you're living, maybe specifically in North America, you don't necessarily have Muslim leadership per se at the highest level. So how does that factor in when, you do have non-Muslim leaders who pass, certain things that may not be permissible as a Muslim. So then in some ways, if you're taking part in democracy, then are you kind of promoting that in some ways?
No, what we're looking then at in a non-Islamic context, or where Muslims are a minority, is that you are counting on the goodness of humanity as a whole. And this is part of Muslim thinking, that human beings have been created good. And it may be in another religion that people think that human beings are depraved, and left to their own, people will just come up with all kinds of vices and just overindulge in vices. But first, the Islamic teaching is that God has actually created people in a good way. This referred to as the fitra, the natural inclination towards good. And there are some people who will deviate, but with the continuous influx of guidance from God through His sending of messengers, and in many other ways, God will influence humanity towards the better. And history has shown us that people are coming out of historical experiences with lessons of life. We are learning, for example, to take better care of our environment. We are learning to give equal rights to women. We are learning about the horrors of war, and we don't want wars to persist. We want to have peace. And these are movements that we're seeing among human beings outside of the religious sphere. It's just coming out of the natural goodness of human beings on the whole. So in a democratic system, whereas there might be some people who will be tending towards evil things and things that could be of harm to society on the whole, mostly we can expect that the educated people will see the difficulties that are there in pursuing our human desires, and they will help to educate and to channel the society as a whole towards that which is better. Now, let's say we replace that system when we say, okay, there are some loopholes and there are some failings. Can we always count on the educated people? Perhaps they will pursue their own desires as well and use that to their own advantage, and they may start oppressing other people. What is the alternative to that? Within an Islamic context, there is a good alternative in that if there is a Muslim majority, they elect a leader who will govern according to the Book of God and the way of the Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. Then we will have like a good, decent society where everything is just and fair, and balanced, and everyone's rights are being taken care of. That's the ideal Islamic
situation.
Situation. Now, if we take that out of the picture and we say, okay, in a non-Muslim setting, what will be the alternative to a democracy? So it wouldn't be a theocracy, or if it is a theocracy for Muslims, this will be probably something not very desirable. But let's say it is a dictatorship. Now, if you cannot trust the educated people in the society as a whole to make good decisions for the society, how can you trust one person as a dictator to make rules for the entire society? So democracy does look like a better system as compared to the possible alternatives that we can envision for a situation in which Muslims are not the majority populace. Now, in such a democracy, at least Muslims living there as minorities will have some say. They will have some ability to cast a vote, whereas in fact in some other systems, let's say it was a theocracy, governed by another religious.
Can you define theocracy really quickly?
Theocracy is a system in which the law of God is said to be the ruling power. So God is in control, and the head is the representative of God. So if that's the representative of the Muslim faith, Muslims will have reason for thinking that this will result in good. If this is, and in some cases we are seeing that sometimes you have a corrupt ruler, as for example now the head of ISIS, may be championed by some as suddenly the redeemer that we've all been waiting for, but most Muslims feel that what ISIS is doing is contrary to Islam, and though that has all of the shape of a Muslim theocracy, it's undesirable for many Muslims. But and obviously that's not the ideal situation that we're talking about. If on the other hand the theocracy that we now have in view is governed by some other religious system, then Muslims may not fare very well in that situation. And this is one of the reasons why we see that a democracy, removing religion from the public sphere and bringing people together, regardless of religion, as equal players in the public sphere, has the good side of it in that Muslims and everyone else can enjoy a fair share of input into how their society is being governed and how the laws and regulations will affect them as individuals.
Thank you very much, Dr. Shabir.
You're welcome.